Listen to my squeaky brakes.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we really are doing something different. I'm going to explain, well, I'm not going to explain it, I'm going to pass you straight over to Sam and he's going to show you what we're going to talk about today. Quite interesting.
Hey.
Hey. What we got, Sam?
So,
shall I pull out and shall I show them?
yeah, we sort of alluded to it in a previous video.
Ooh.
I've done my bike license, so this is my first bike. It's a Suzuki Bandit N600, well, it's the GSF 600. And
it's quite now you were telling me it's quite a popular bike now, I believe, by all accounts.
well, the reason I bought it was I literally went on Google and went a good first bike and came up with this. It's supposed to be quite a controllable, cheap, easy to fix sort of bike and good to get used to the road on as a first time rider. And it's good fun to ride.
So what's the plan then? So we're going to take it out for a spin, aren't we? We're going to try and stick some cameras on it,
Yeah.
and see how it goes, and try and do a review-ish from a
We'll try a bike one. And
from
see
a
how-
first-time bike rider. Well,
see how we get on.
I know nothing about bikes. All right, roll to intro. Got Sam all dressed up, ready to go.
Yeah.
He's probably baking in this. So what we'll do is we've stuck a GoPro on him. He'll talk about the bike, and then we're going to go somewhere nice, do some stuff. I'm going to follow him in the Ranger, see what we can get. This is a trial and error for us, so I'm just dragging this out because he's probably really, really hot.
Not done a bike before, have we?
No, we haven't.
That'll be interesting.
You look really weird with that helmet on. So yeah, we'll set the cameras up on him, and then the next voice you'll hear will be Sam on his way, and hopefully we'll get some good shots.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right. So hopefully you can hear me. I don't know if you saw at the start, but she likes to start with quite a lot of choke on. I don't know if that's because of the age of the bike or the fact that she's getting a bit worn. It's done 32,000 miles now, but until it's fully warmed through, it really doesn't like starting with no choke. So here we go. So you'll notice that when I'm changing gear or just come off the throttle, the revs will hang quite a lot because the choke's still on. But if I was to turn the choke off completely, the bike would go to stall. I don't know if that's the experience of other Bandit owners. Let us know. But yeah, here we go. Better put my visor down, so I'll be getting a bug surprise to the grid. Yeah. So then, why did I choose this bike? Well, I googled it and it said it was a good first bike. It's that simple. I don't really know much about bikes. I've never had one before. This is my first one. The only other experience I've got is the bike I learnt on, which was the Yamaha MT-07. Very good bike, good all-rounder, and it was a naked style, which is like where you've not got this front fairing, which I like the look of it, and let's face it, a lot of it's about looks, isn't it? So this one's, this sort of age, they did two size of engines. They did the 600, which is this one, and they did the 1200. I didn't really want to get the 1200 because I'm not that experienced, and I'd sooner start on something a bit smaller, which probably makes sense. I've had this one for probably about 4 weeks now, 4 or 5 weeks. I've just been riding around locally trying to get used to being on the road. Encountered my fair share of idiots in that time, people pulling out in front of me, so you have to be very, very aware. I've found that's my first biggest experience from getting on a bike. You sort of have to make yourself hyper aware in order to not die, which is always a good thing. It's fast, like way faster than anything I'm used to, because obviously I've driven cars all my life for the past 14, 15 years or whatever it is. But then again, almost any bike feels fast after a car, just because of the nature of it. They're small, you're basically a human being strapped to an engine, which is also why they're very good fun. So you can hear the throttles, the revs are still hanging a little bit there. When I get up the road, we're going to stop in a minute and have a talk about the bike. That'll probably be about warm enough to turn the throttle off on close throttle. So this engine apparently is a derivative of an earlier engine. I'm not totally sure of the model, but it's what they call a Sachs engine, which I think relates to the fact it's an oil-cooled engine. So there's like, with a lot of these bike engines I've seen, they're either water-cooled like a normal car engine, or they're air-cooled, or a bit of both. And this one's air-cooled and oil-cooled, so it's got an oil cooler on the front, and that's what keeps it nice and cool. The engine's a 4-cylinder, over a cam, 600cc. Very torquey, about all the range. You know, in a lot of the cases you could probably just sit there in top gear, which is what I frequently do. It's got no indication for what gear you're in. It's got no fuel indication. You have to sort of know what you're going to be able to do on a tank. At the moment, with the fuel prices, it costs about, I don't know, 20-25 quid-ish to fill the tank. And that will get you about 120 miles. So I find I'm constantly, every time you go to fill up the tank, just reset the trip. It's one of the few things you do have on the gauges, and then you know roughly how much fuel you're going to have left. That's the only way to do it, really.
Whatever you want, I'll settle for nothing, as long as we can keep the fire. I'll do whatever you do, follow you anywhere, if our chances are getting brighter. But I want you to know I can't.
Right, so Sam's getting ready and he's off, and I'm going to now follow him. Hopefully this footage is turning out alright. We've just checked it before and it looks pretty good, so he knows more about bikes than I do, so I'll just let him crack on. Back over to you, Sam.
Off we go again. The car's coming, so let's do it. Oh, it's really warm today, I can't tell you how nice it feels. My experience being like with this Suzuki Bandit GSF 600. Well, just my first bike, so I'm probably a little bit biased. Everyone sort of likes their first car or bike, I guess, or most people, but I absolutely love this bike. It rides so well, and like, considering I learned to ride on a 3-year-old bike, and this one's 26, I think, or even, no, it's a 96, so even older. It rides amazingly well. It really, really does. Just going left down here. So the brakes are good, even if you've got stones stuck in them. It's easy to change gear, it's controllable. You really can see why so many people do favour them as a first bike. They got a bit of a panning when they were when they had just been released. I think it was about 95 they got released, these, because they got people were under the impression they're a bit of a parts bin special, which apparently they sort of were. I mean, the engine was from a different an earlier model. Oops, indicator still on. Sort of retuned for this bike, and various other bits and bobs I think were recycled as well from other models. But what they ended up with was a really well balanced bike, and you know, got rave reviews back in the day, and you could argue these days they're a little bit of a cult classic for that reason. A lot of people have owned these over the years, and generally when you find vehicles like that, they hold quite a fond place in people's minds. So I've only been tickling the throttle back there. Also the engine's cold, or relatively cold, but it really is capable of some speed. Obviously not by some bike standards, but you know, if you compare it to any run-of-the-mill car, it's by far be quicker than 99% of things on the road. I checked what it does 0 to 60, and supposedly, apparently, some people reckon between about 4 and 4.5 seconds, and that's if you're really getting every last bit out of it, which is not an easy thing to do, actually. You know, you have to be able to change gear at the perfect times and stuff, and I'm not that good, because obviously I've not been riding that long, so I get what I can out of it and I enjoy it very much. But this is the perfect sort of weather for riding. You know, clear blue skies, minimal wind. It's lovely, it really is. I don't know why I put off doing my bike licence for so long, because it's just such good fun. Apart from when you're stuck behind people like this. So if anyone's watching has had a Bandit over the years, or if anyone particularly had a Bandit as a first bike, let me know how you got on with it, and what you thought of it, how it handled, and you know, all that sort of good stuff. I'll talk a little bit about spares and its availability and stuff. It seems pretty good. I mean, I've not really needed much so far. The only work I've had done to it in the past few weeks has been to get the carburetors balanced, because it was sort of running a little bit lumpy even when it was warmed up. So took it into a local place who do older bikes, and they set the carbs up, and it really does run lovely now. Pulls through all the gears, lovely. I rode it at night the other day for the first time. The lights are pretty good. You know, I never really had any problems with seeing where I was going. Really clear. Also good good lights mean that people can spot you, so you're less likely to get blasted, which is always a bonus. I find it a very sort of relaxing experience being on the bike. It's just you and I know it's a cliche, but it's just you and the machine and wherever you want to go really on the road. So it's quite freeing, liberating feeling. Very cliche, but it's true. I'm sure most people would back me up. I'm going to pull over here and slow down because it's some decent potholes here.
I bet he's sweaty. Hey up, bud, how was that?
Good.
I'm recording.
Yeah, hopefully it's recorded and got some audio on there. But yes,
Nice,
it's a
dude.
lovely day to be out on the
Oh,
bike.
it is stunning, and typically you're wearing all that.
I'm very warm.
And I've got a Odd Jobs hoodie on.
Flip-flops.
And flip-flops, but hey ho. So, had a good speak?
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully I'm not just rambling complete nonsense.
Well, that's good though, mate. It's what it's all about, isn't it? Hopefully, it's like we said, it's more of a, this is a trial for us, so we really wanted to showcase the bike. It's a first time bike for somebody. Apparently they're a bit of a classic.
The bird flew on me exhaust.
Oh no!
So
Apologies for the cars, you know, people going about their daily life around us, and it's not great for filming, but yeah, so we'll have a catch up, see what's left, and yeah, we'll go for there. Alright guys, so that was our first foray, if you like, into a motorbike review. Yeah.
So what you reckon? I mean, it's pretty much me just talking nonsense and riding around, but it's a nice day and it's a pretty cool bike.
It's too nice a day. We've had to sit in the car because the aircon on and poor Sam's sweating his bits off.
Warm.
So yeah, it's Sam's first bike. It apparently, well, I mean, like I've said before, it's a really popular bike. People really go on about them, don't they?
Yeah,
People
I think
come up to you.
it's a bit of like I mean, everyone's heard of a Suzuki Bandit, haven't they? Even if you're not a bike person, you've probably heard of one. And I don't know what the reason for that is. It was one of those mid-90s bikes. It was almost like a bit of a cult classic, wasn't it? A lot of people had them. A lot of people had them as first bikes, and a lot of people have still got them.
I think it's great.
A lot going around.
It's great that they're still on the roads. I mean, generally bikes, you don't, you know, I don't know. I'm not a biker. I completely don't have a clue. So the fact that it is as old as it is and it still runs as good as it runs, it's got to be testament. So I mean, they're obviously reliable bikes, aren't they?
It's been looked after, I think, as well. You know. Just before I picked it up, the previous owner had serviced it and fitted a new chain and sprocket. So it's been looked after pretty well. Sweet.
So we'll end it here. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for bearing with us if you've got this far into the video. It's something completely different for us, definitely for me. I'm not a bike guy, like I've said, but you know, I'll apologise beforehand. I've not seen the full footage yet, but if the audio's bad, we'll figure something out. But you know, we wanted to give like a different experience because, you know, why not, sort of thing. And Sam had a good day, even though he's probably really, really hot. But that's it. Like and subscribe, all that jazz, and we'll catch you in the next one. Monza hopefully coming very soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Anything to add, Sam? No. See you guys.
See ya.